Dyffryn Infants in Newport, South Wales is piloting a radically different approach to early years education. From 2008, it will replace Key Stage 1 in Wales. The new foundation phase for 3 to 7-year-olds places a greater emphasis on learning through play.
Many years ago, you might have seen the whole class sitting down, and some of those children will have understood the lesson, the objective, but some children wouldn't have. And those children who didn't would have still been sitting on that carpet. They would feel failures, and not because they are not capable of reading and writing, but they are not ready to, and they were not developmentally mature to. So, in the past, it's the children who've matured developmentally have been the ones that have succeeded.
Okay. Right, Tyler, would you like to do a forward roll demonstration down the mat? Forward rolls. Off we go. Hands out.
Bath head teacher Phil Pope has come to see the changes in action. He'd like to do something similar at his school, but he's worried about the impact on SATS results.
Excellent.
There is a risk that if we introduce more play, that we have less time to do maybe the more formal aspects of the curriculum. The children might initially achieve less well, and it's a risk because of the nature of our intake and the achievement of some of the children. It's a risk we would have to be pretty certain of winning.
So far, the changes in Newport have only been introduced in reception.
Right, Robbie, find me a little word.
A key aspect is lower adult pupil ratios.
In the reception class, we've got a ratio of 1 to 8. So we've had a lot of extra classroom assistance and support within the classroom. This has then enabled us to work in very small groups which you've been able to differentiate, so can meet the children's needs, which we couldn't if you had one teacher with 30 children. Speaking and listening has been catered for and extended, and the children are much more confident than they have previously been, because again we're working at their own level.
You do at the end of a sentence. Now,
Phil's relieved to see that the reception children who are ready do learn to read and write, but the rest of the class will come to this much later.
Can. What does that say? Can. A. Now I'll do the boxes. Say the sounds. But we got can a bird. Right. Ow.
No. Can a bird shout? No. A bird
can't shout. Now help me with this one.
And what comes through is that as you come through the door, there's that care, that wanting the children to succeed and to be balanced members of community. And we've talked before about to be that, they need to be able to read and write. We're not talking of ignoring the basic skills at all, but actually giving stronger foundations for those to be built on.
And we all realise that children need time to play. They need time to reflect. They need time to repeat what they do.
But there's still the basic skills coming through. When we went through the reception classrooms, the children were writing and reading to varying levels. And I think that reassurance for parents, and the parents need to be reassured that their children will still be learning and that the outcome at year 11 or year 7 or wherever it needs to be measured will be better.
Should be better. Will be, definitely be better.
There's a lot more time spent outdoors and learning through doing rather than completing exercises in books. And more speaking in Welsh.
What pala wedi hwn?
Glas, da iawn.
The changes are being phased in and will eventually include years 1 and 2.
That's an area that there's a lot of discussion about the knock-on effect to Key Stage 2, and adapting the curriculum in Key Stage 2, certainly when children enter, because they will have had this very active time before they go, but hopefully we'll have a much more solid base to go into.
That can be difficult enough anyway.
Yes.
What have you got on the end of your fishing rod?
Metal.
Is it special metal? Does it do something special?
I don't know anything else.
No. What does it? What about this metal? This metal here? It sticks. Do you know what we call that metal that sticks? Remember, Georgia? Do you remember what we called it? Magnet. Let's see if we can catch some fish with our magnet.
Very good.
Can you point to any actual children who are better off under this system than they would have been under the old system?
Well, I think it's fair to say that the children who are less able at the beginning of the year have benefited enormously because there has been no pressure on them to learn inappropriately. The children who are always ready to learn will do so through most educational systems, but for the children that need that extra time, children who haven't had the good speaking and listening skills, who haven't had stories read to them, for a variety of reasons, those children need to be socialised and they need to spend time with good adults to bring them on to a point where they are ready to learn in a more formal way.
I came not really knowing what to expect, but on the surface, actually, I'm reassured in a way that there's not a huge amount of difference, because it means we're not too far behind the Welsh system if we were to pick up now and start working on it. I do know a large number of my staff would be very interested in coming to the school. They're intrigued by the way the Welsh system is going. They, I think, unanimously approve of the way it's going, but do have concerns, which I think most professionals would have, of how that would be seen from what can be critical audiences of the parent group and the government, possibly.
Many of these children, when they first start forest school, can't walk on anything that is uneven, because they're not used to walking on anything that is uneven, certainly not used to going out into a woodland area.
The foundation phase encourages all schools in Wales, even the most urban, to use the outdoors as another classroom where children can work on a daily basis. Dyffryn is lucky enough to have a piece of land on the edge of a wood.
See if its roots will go right on the bottom. Let's have a look. Chicken! Can anyone remember what a chicken is in Welsh?
No.
It's a yard.
Me. Yes.
A yard.
Your turn. Your turn.
Are we going to find any chickens in Forest School today, do you think? I don't think so.
Chicken.
But what do chickens eat?
Worms. Chicken.
Worms.
We try and have a 1:4, 1:5 adult child ratio when we're out in the forest.
So shall we try and collect some insects ourselves?
Yeah.
Shall we try? Okay, I'll get some pops. Come with us and we'll try and get some pops. See what we can. All right, Joshua. Have you got a friend to work with, Josh? That hat's a little bit big for you.
Are they given guidelines at this point? Can
Yes.
they wander
No, they've all. No, they can wander. They know where they can wander up to the orange fence and to the fence at the back. So they are safe.
Oh, and the stream's fenced off.
The stream is fenced off. So they're completely safe, but they do love to get behind bushes and you know, have that feeling of being out in the woods.
Oh, and that one is. Do you think you're going to find a spider in there? Have a look. What else do you think we might find in there? The wriggles. What do you think?
We must look.
We might find a wriggly thing.
I think there's something in the grass. Oh, what's that? Hey, that's tiny.
Plant.
Is it?
Yes, black. Well, it might be red.
Could be red. Oh, do they? Which one do you think it is? Here we go. Oh, yep. Quick, before it bites me.
Hey, did it? It might bite, yeah, it might eat the armadillo.
I don't think it will eat the wood lice.
Mine.
Ah! Ah!
It's hoped that if children spend more time outdoors, their health, fitness and physical development will improve. Phil's keen to find out from the Forestry Commission staff whether something like this could work at his school in Bath.
But I think they'll take too long to burn.
Is it different from a conservation area? We have a conservation area which children
I think it's more of an approach rather than a place.
Right.
So it's the idea of using a woodland setting on a regular, ongoing basis.
Because not every school would have this resource available,
No.
have the space for it, or be in the environment, an urban environment.
No, although we do have schools in
Build it.
Cardiff who use the Hayley Park, and we have a school which literally does a forest school in a corner of a field with one tree,
Right.
but only taking about 4 children out and planting and leaving the grass to grow and having some logs brought in, and they can explore and have that freedom in the same way as
Right, because the
this sort of
smaller
setting.
the area, the less usage there can be, really, without having a huge impact on what you're trying to study.
Absolutely.
Wearing the grass away. And
Yeah, and that's something we've looked at very carefully here, haven't we?
We come out in all weathers.
All
The only
year
time
round.
we don't come out if it's very windy. That's the only time.
because of branches. And
Because of trees in this place.
That's your risk assessment.
That's our
coming
risk
into play,
assessment, but we come
absolutely.
out if it's snowing, if it's raining,
Snow
if
would
it's
be lovely.
cold.
Frost.
And the children really see the area changing, which teaches them so much, but also they really get to know the area, all its different moods, and
Well, I was saying
and
on
enjoy
the
it and be
bridge,
proud of
they
it.
were building respect for the natural environment, but not an over-caring respect of you don't touch anything, or so
Yeah.
it's a very much a working respect.
Well, that's right. I mean, they're never going to learn to value it
They don't
if they're always
touch,
told to just stand behind a fence and look at it.
Shannon, Kyle would like to see what you've got in yours. Would you like to have a look inside? Show yours to the other children.
What I've learned that is actually, on the surface at the moment, there's not a great deal of difference between the approach in the two schools, but that difference will become, I think, probably very marked over the next few years when the foundation phase spreads through year 1 and year 2 and they become more activity-led learners.
That's it, and then pass it on. That's right.
And I think if people come in and see it, actually there won't be concerns because they can see people, children learning. And as we went through reception and through year 1, you can see that the children are learning. There's writing going on, there's reading going on, maybe in a less formal sense, but the learning is still there. So that's a great reassurance to me. And I also love the forest school. The concept of a forest school was rather worrying, but actually seeing it in action and talking to people about it, it is well within the reach of, I would suspect, any school on a different scale.
I can smell the popcorn.
It's nice, isn't it? It'll be all lovely and sweet.